Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for the second day of Novel Aquafeed Ingredients Webinar Week. Before we get started, just wanted to extend a huge thank you to Wittaya for sponsoring this webinar today. I'm Alex Shoretsky, Digital Media Coordinator for Annex Business Media, as well as your moderator for this session. Before I pass it over to your speaker this morning, I'd like to take a moment to just go over a few housekeeping items. Firstly, this webinar is being recorded, so for any reason you have to leave early or you miss part of the presentation, a link to the recording will be emailed to all registrants tomorrow. Secondly, the audience is in listen-only mode, so cameras and microphones will be turned off for you. However, the chat and Q&A function are open. Now I'd like to introduce your speaker for today, Dominique Bureau. Dom has over 30 years of experience in academia and industry. He is a professor at the University of Guelph, where he leads a dynamic research program on the nutrition of aquaculture species with focus on the nutrient and energy utilization, feed ingredient evaluation, and feeding management. He works very closely with aquaculture operations, feed manufacturers, and ingredient suppliers around the world. Without further ado, I'd like to pass it over to Dom for his presentation.
Thank you very much, Alex. Thanks for this opportunity to present to a great group of industry stakeholders. So I'd like to present a little bit the digital tools and the service that are offered by Wittaya Aqua. These services are targeting aquaculture feed manufacturer, but also ingredient suppliers, and I'll focus on this in my presentation. The aquaculture feed industry is a really uniquely complex, very fragmented market. It's quite significant in size, with over 52 million metric tons of feed produced every year. And that feed represents a large part of the production costs in aquaculture. There are many different kinds of feed produced according to different manufacturing technique, different recipe, for the multitude of species, production condition, intensive, semi-intensive, indoor, outdoor, cages, etc. And the challenge and the market demand, different market demand for different types of feed with different characteristics, resulting in different product quality, for example. In order to produce these feeds, feed manufacturers rely on feed ingredient. That's the base of the feed formulation. They also rely on a number of feed additives in order to enhance the value of the feed, enhance the properties of those. Many of those ingredients in several countries are imported into the country. So there are local ingredients, and there's also a large proportion of imported ingredient in countries like Indonesia, Vietnam, Bangladesh, and places like this. You do have a huge import of ingredients from all over the world in order to meet the demand of aquaculture feed production in those countries. Now, there's many stakeholders, many small and large and medium-sized feed mills that produce a variety of feed. In all the countries, you can count hundreds of feed manufacturers. So it is a very fragmented market, as opposed maybe to some of the larger animal production species like poultry and swine, where there's quite a bit of market consolidation. The aquaculture market is still quite significantly fragmented amongst regional players. So in some countries, right, you have companies you probably never heard the name of, but that produce hundreds of thousands of tons of feed per year. When you make aquaculture feed, you're dealing with several challenges. Not only you're dealing with different species, different production conditions, so you have to have feed of different composition, different formulation, but you have to keep your eyes on cost effectiveness. It is feed used in business. The production margin are often very small for many aquaculture species. So you really need to focus on how cost effective the feed. If you're proposing something, it has to fit within this. The feed has to fit with what the market needs and expects from the feed. You cannot just create the best feed you can and think you're going to be able to sell it. You really have to adapt yourself to the current market conditions, or you will not be able to sell your feed. If manufacturer won't be able to sell the feed. There are other considerations. You have to make a pellet, right? Crumble or something of that nature, a micro pellet. So there's actually very challenging manufacturing consideration when you're formulating feed and making feed. You cannot just put a bunch of ingredients together. It's really quite an art and science to make a feed that can be manufactured with proper physical property. You have to take into account the final product quality, right? Whether it's acceptable from the market, whether it's certified, whether it meets certain quality standard in terms of pigmentation or appearance, etc. So it's a challenging. And then there's many challenging conditions, disease, effect of environmental impact, management, and the like. So you need to have feed sometimes that have functional properties to deal with these challenges. So therefore, the aquafeed market is very complicated, but it provides interesting opportunities for a wide range of feed ingredients and additives. The product, though, these product ingredients and additives should be backed by credible research, credible assessment, right, and really tailored to the specific feeds and manufacturer. You cannot just one size fits all. You really have to target your marketing campaign, and you have to really demonstrate that the product that you're selling, that you're bringing, will bring value, right? There will be have a significant return on investment. So if you're charging $2,000 per ton for your ingredient, it has to bring basically that value back and more to the feed manufacturer. In order to deal with all these challenges, you need a high degree of technical expertise. It's not just saying, well, I have this ingredient, so I'm going to sell it to the market. You really need to know what you're talking about, and you need to be supported by a team that know what to talk about and what to target and so on. And that's where Wittaya Aqua comes in. We're a team of professional aquaculture experts with decades of experience. We work in all the different markets, from salmon in Chile to tilapia in Costa Rica to shrimp in Vietnam, tilapia and carp in Indonesia. You name it, we worked around the world about this. We work with feed ingredient company, additive company, feed mill, farming operation, integrators. And what we bring is years of experience. We're leaders of nutrition, research and development, mathematical modeling, and farm performance analytics also. We cover a broad range of this. So whether you need a partner to market a new product or enter a new market for your existing product, whether you're trying to grow your market share or basically train your sales team in order to do better in a certain market, we're there to help you expand your business, basically, right? And help you guide your effort also upstream in designing what would be suitable for different market. We have a global presence, a great track record, and very good industry recognition. We lead many workshops. We did hundreds of presentations over the past few years. We work with at least 15 species. We have modeled for 41 species. So we have 17 employees. They're all technically mined and skills. Several years in business. We formulate feed in different countries for different organizations. We work and interact with all kinds of different players, from very small one-person shop to multinational companies in a multitude of countries, literally around the world. In order to support our effort and our work, we have developed two software platforms, one that we call Aqua Farm and one that we call Aquafeed. Like the name indicate, the farm is more of a farm data, farm management, compilation, and analytics platform. And the Aquafeed platform is more a platform to deal with feed ingredients, feed formulation, and simulation, right, of the value of feed ingredient. So therefore, what our offering together allows you to understand the opportunity, understand the market, then basically develop successful sales strategies and targeted sales strategy, and then improve your product, your effort, direct your effort to things by identifying areas that are gaps in our understanding, things that the market would like to see with your ingredients, the kind of support that your clients may be requiring. We're able to support that. Our greater goal in our company is create that digital ecosystem that links farms and feed. So we have tools, right, that goes from the feed ingredients to the feed formulation to the animal performance on the farm, because the value of an ingredient is only as good, right, as the performance as what you get on the farm. You can have very good ingredients, but if it doesn't support performance on the farm, you're not further ahead. Your ingredients has to fit within a feed formulation. So you need to understand how your ingredients or additive can be used, how they fit, whether they make they're cost effective, whether they make sense in a certain type of feed. So our tools allow all this to link the whole ecosystem, but also specifically help you address different challenges. We have a broad and very competent business development team with individuals with experience from all around the world, several MBAs, master's degree, PhDs help us develop, understand the market. We have people that work for Biomar UK, Biomar Costa Rica, and Biomar China. We have people that have experience in the fish biology and also the capital market finance and the like. So we are very well placed to assist you in many of your efforts in developing your business. We also have a very competent technical and scientific team made of individuals with academic training and years of experience with work with feed manufacturer, ingredient suppliers, farming operations. So we really have a broad expertise to support you in your activity. Just to show you a little bit more detail on our Aquafeed software and its associated solution, we call it a Aquafeed Market Intelligence, Sales Enablement, and Ingredient Valuation Tool. We really have three different apps within our software. We have what we call a raw material map, an economic valuation tool, and a feed formulation tool within our things. So we have different apps for different purpose. We are working in different countries, so we've developed database and know-how to formulate and develop insight for a variety of market. So right now we have 21 species, 21 countries in which we are working. For these countries, we've developed ingredient database with up-to-date price. We update the price every quarter for all of these countries. So therefore, you do not need to go and seek that information. What kind of fish meal is used in Egypt? What kind of soybean meal is used in Indonesia, for example? We can determine this, and we have the price, the up-to-date price, and those are directly uploaded into our feed formulation platform and raw material map. A raw material map is a way to track feed ingredients. So you can track the composition of the feed ingredients, of your feed ingredients, or your client can track the reception of different feed ingredients, their characteristics, their volume, right? The different detailed batch, the composition, and the like. We also have an economic evaluation tool where we can actually, based on the current market price of the ingredients and their nutritional composition and a series of attributes, calculate their fair market price based on the price paid for protein, for fat, for EPA, DHA, phosphorus, digestible starch, and the like. We're able to predict the fair market value of ingredients and contrast it with the current market price, and thereby identifying good deals, the green dots on our chart here, and help you identify poor deal, right? Values that can actually, right, a little too expensive for what they bring. A very valuable tool to assess that. So therefore, using this approach, we're able to estimate the value of, let's say, of marine protein, of basically environmentally sustainable marine protein, vegetable protein, animal protein, and the value of nutrients. How much is the market willing to pay for protein? How much the market is willing to pay for lipids, starch, methionine, lysine, etc. is very valuable to determine the true fair market price for your feed ingredient. And that's something that is often missing with many ingredients and feed additive ventures. People don't always have a good realistic idea of the price, the value of their product. Then the proof of the pudding is in the eating. You have to make a recipe. And our feed formulation is just that. We are making a recipe. So we have the nutritional specification for over 41 species at different life stage and different types of production system. So we have hundreds of different nutritional profiles. These are adjustable. We can help you adjust them and develop a custom one for your own needs. And then together with the feed ingredient database, whether your own list of ingredients or our custom, our preloaded list of ingredients, you can formulate feed. So therefore, you can generate realistic feed formulation that are realistic for your market, whether it's Asian sea bass in Malaysia or right a shrimp in Vietnam. You can generate using our tool realistic and identify this. You can equip yourself with the knowledge and tools in order to go and talk to feed manufacturer and go and arrive there prepared and knowing what they expect, what they would like to see. And by coming prepared to meetings with potential clients, you can really have a more fruitful discussion with potential clients. With the feed formulation tool, you can also run a series of simulation. In this specific case, we have a local fish meal or a meat and bone meal with different digestibility, 60% digestibility of protein, 70, 80, or 90%. And you can actually generate scenario, how much cost implication would have variation in the digestibility of a certain ingredients have on the final cost of the feed formulate a certain nutritional specification. So it's a very powerful tool, right? Turnkey, easy to use, and you can explore many scenarios. You could be exploring the impact of a feed additive, an enzymes, or whatever, an organic acid, and looking and say, well, how much cost would it contribute? And then basically, how much saving could I be helping my client achieve with this? So you're equipped with the knowledge to be able to explore a different scenario and present those to your potential client. We also offer a broad ranges of services from market analyses, help you understand markets, which country, what volume of feed, what volume of feed ingredients, market strategy, go-to-market support, whether it's registration of ingredients, um, determining potential partners for going into a certain market. We are also very solid in research and development support. We've designed hundreds of different feeding and digestibility trials for a wide variety of species of fish and shrimp. We also audit the quality of R&D effort, because not because you got research results that these will be credible for your potential client, not necessarily that they don't contain any errors or that the performance were as good as expected. So we're able to audit the quality of these research efforts, help you improve, right, or better analyze the data that you have, and then identify shortcomings and the need for future research. We're also very good at developing digital resource, database, simulation tools, models, that whatever you need, whether you have a certain additive that increases the digestibility of phosphorus or protein or improves the health of the animal, we have the digital tools that allows you to forecast what kind of economical improvement you can be associated with your ingredient. And that's one of our key offerings. Our development of our model is really kind of very powerful, allows you to do what if I could have this impact on survival, and then generate very realistic estimates of the impact of your product. So we can help you build your business and product strategy. We can help you achieve sale, better persuade buyers, price your ingredients competitively, retain and develop a faithful following and faithful customer base, because you bring value to them and you're not just the person that comes and bother them. You're really the person that can come, the company that can come and support them. And then thereby we can help you improve and expand your business by helping you target your effort, build your expertise, train your staff, etc. So really can offer a turnkey. We've worked with some of the best company in aquaculture and feed industry, the agriculture industry it is. We're working closely with companies in the Americas, in Europe, and especially in Asia. So Asia and Latin America is two of our strong things. The warm water aquaculture market is kind of our expertise. Although we've worked with salmonids and rainbow trout and country and production in Europe also, varieties. So we have a global presence, and we have our entries with different feed manufacturers and ingredient company that can help you achieve your goals and understand. Our customer love us. We have customer, for example, Aker Biomarine. We help them evaluate their krill, determine how it would fit into different feed formulation, what would be the cost advantage of using their product, and help them prepare with a conversation with a strategic client. We've worked with Corbion, for example, and really help them give up a good idea of the economic value of the ingredients, how it fit, which market they should be targeting, what volume in different countries. So very useful. And one of our very important clients is the United States Soybean Export Council, responsible for marketing soybean around the world. And we work with them on a wide variety of projects, from feed formulation to feed mill support to farmer support to developing benchmark for production for their technology that they're promoting, like IPRS, to developing quality criteria for ingredients, for doing technical review on soy-based ingredients. So really this, and we really deliver high value for this very important clients, and we'll show this. We are a team, a dynamic team, a young team. We're based both in Singapore and Canada. We have teams that are cross-cultural and can work around this. You're welcome. A few years ago, we won the Global Aquaculture Challenge in 2021, came out first and won the first prize. And we just finished and closed our first round of investments. We just released the news yesterday, last night, and we're very proud and ready to work with the global industry around the world and support as many clients as we possibly can ever reach. I thank you very much for your attention and look forward to your question.
That was awesome, Dom. Thank you so much for that awesome presentation. We do have some questions, so let's just jump right in. The first one that I'm seeing here is, do you guys have a demo version of your Aqua OP feed for formulation?
Um, because of the nature of our software, because we have database that are very expensive to maintain, we do not offer a free demo, but we do offer a very affordable period trial for 3 months. For example, we have a very affordable subscription, so you can get a taste of our software and what it can do. And that's kind of our approach. We're open to discussion and different way of serving different clients with different needs and different means. So please reach out to us.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. Got another one here. It says, when considering potential ingredients, does palatability seem to be a factor for aquatic animals?
Mhm. Yes. So, I mean, palatability, I've worked on this for many years. There's two aspects to palatability. There's the taste, right? The animal likes the taste. And then there's a nutritional completeness. So after 2 or 3 days of feeding something that is not nutritionally adequate, very often the feed intake of the animal will drop. And then people tend to confuse the two. So there's a taste aspect and there's a nutritional aspect. And we work on both. Yes, they are. It's an important properties of feed ingredients. So they are a market for palatin for product that enhance the intake of the animal. But there's also very important opportunity for product that enhance the performance of the animal and address nutritional shortcomings in cheaper, more economical ingredients. So there's both aspect of palatability that we can address to feed ingredients and feed additives.
Awesome. Thank you. Got another one here. It says, what are common mistakes or missing info ingredient companies make when trying to reach feed mills?
Um, being too optimistic. So because fish meal, good quality fish meal is kind of the yardstick, the golden standard, right? People say, well, my ingredient is as good as fish meal, so therefore I'm going to charge as much as fish meal. But fish meal is a complex ingredient that brings amino acids, minerals, and especially essential fatty acids. So you, and the market pays a real price for those things. So your ingredients, right, will actually at base be valued as a function of their nutrient composition, what people are interested in. Now, if your ingredient has certain properties, it enhances stress resistance, disease resistance, and improved palatability, they may be an additional value, but you're always kind of grade against that fish meal kind of standard, which work really well and is very well known, right? So you're not very rarely it is. So the main error I see with ingredient supplier is being too optimistic or too simplistic in their evaluation of price. So you really have to do your homework and be careful about how you evaluate the economic value of the ingredient. And that will determine how big your market will be. Will you be a major ingredient or will you just be a feed additive? Feed additive will command a bigger price, but right will result in much smaller volume of inclusion than if you were a common ingredient. So we help you determine that balance, right, of usage, price, and value of your feed ingredients and additives.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. I got a couple more here. This one says, how different are aquafeed markets by geography and species?
Very, very different. I mean, you're talking, I mean, the most obvious example is salmon in Norway versus, I don't know, carp feed in Indonesia, for example. Very different market, very different species, very different nutritional specification. But even within the same species, you look at Norway, salmon in Norway, salmon in the UK, salmon in Chile, and salmon in Canada, or Australia, you have different types of formulation because of different feed regulation, different market acceptance for the use of different ingredients like animal protein, different demand of farmers being more or less technical or are performing. So therefore, you have different grades. So the aquaculture market, like I said, is very complex, very fragmented, right? And you really need to go specifically. A rainbow trout feed is not the same in Turkey, in France, in Canada, right? In northern China, it's going to be very different. But there's commonality at the same time, right? It's not because, right, the species is cultivated in different kinds of water, different temperature, that the nutritional requirement will change so much. So we bring that element of know-how, right? But also market specificity that you need.
Beautiful. Lovely. All right, we got one more left, and it's a good one to end on because it's asking about the future. What do you see as the most promising ingredient trends in aquafeed in the near future?
Um, I've worked on feed ingredients literally for the past 34 years now, right? What I feel is that we are wasting nutrients. So we have feed ingredients that are well accepted, produced in large quantity, but sometimes have challenges of digestibility. So my view is the most important thing, let's make better use of what we have now, and then we can complement with new ingredients, novel solutions, and the like. So I tend to think that we rush a little too far, too fast, and say, oh, look, we need this new protein. Oh, we're lacking protein. We're lacking this, and we're running into very far in the direction without taking our time and assessing, hey, are we making the best use of what we have? Are there a way we can improve the existing product? And that's what I've been working on. So that's what I think is the most promising in my opinion. But there are very interesting ingredients in the fermentation space, in the algae space, in the insect space, in the you name it, right? So plant protein space, there are all kinds of very interesting ingredients. They're all worth being things, but just being realistic about their value and their potential is really truly critical for the success of these ingredient ventures.
Awesome. We actually got one more while you were answering that. Is that
Mhm.
okay? You good to keep going for a little bit? Yeah.
Yes, of course.
So this one says, what is the base of feed formulation? Is it linear programming model or benefit cost analysis or other?
Least cost feed formulation is the basis, but it's not always least cost because of all the consideration I named, right? You could arrive to the cheapest formulation that is suggested by the least cost, but then you cannot manufacture this, or it will not be accepted by the market because it contains too much of a certain or base too much or too risky because it relies too much on an ingredient that is variable in composition. So that's what I say. It's really a science and art how to formulate feed, and that's our expertise. We can guide you. Yes, the least cost feed formulation software is the key, is the starting point, right? You try to formulate the cheapest mixture, but then you have to know the limitations and all the associated needs that will be associated with making the feed into a pellet that will be acceptable by the animals, by the market, that will result in an appropriate product quality that will meet the regulations in the different countries. So it is very complicated. Now there's an opportunity to formulate feeds with different composition. For the, I would say, well, I think the question also go along, what's the benefit? I say, what if I can produce a better feed with better ingredient? That would be more costly, but in the end will be more profitable for farmers. And it's kind of a double-edged sword. Is many in many market this is not really feasible. A very small proportion of farmers will make that leap of faith, but a lot of farmers in the world will use the cheapest feed that they can use that support good performance and good FCR and good survival. So the bulk of the market is really driven by price, by value, right? But there are a small part of the market that is more daring and more eager to use better quality input. However, as the market mature, as the demand of the industry, for example, the supermarket, the food distributors are evolving, then right there's onus on producing better quality feed through certification, through different things, feeds that are more environmentally sustainable, feed that reduce the risk for farmers. So there are opportunities there, but it takes taking time. And that's again something that we're working on with different kinds of partners and really willing to explore this with new partners and new clients.
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Don. That was a very informative presentation packed into half an hour.
Thank you very much.
Unfortunately, it appears that is all the time we have for the webinar today. I just wanted to once again extend a big thank you to Wittaya for sponsoring this webinar today. Also, just wanted to thank Dom once again for his time and presentation today. Finally, just want to extend a big thank you to the audience for your questions and participation. Watch your inboxes for a link to the recording and any resources from today's session. Thanks, everybody. I hope you all have a great and safe day.